recording.
What's up, y'all? You've got the Ornery One, and you're watching the Ornery One here on YouTube, and I'm fixing to ride this front end by Legend Suspension. We're going to be talking about two of them. It's not just one, but two. Now you have the performance and you have the comfort. It's feeling great, so you guys stay tuned to this video because I'm going to be breaking it down and telling you my opinion and my thoughts as I put 2,000 miles on both the performance and the comfort by Legend Suspension. All right, y'all, let's get to it. Let's ride these roads. Let's put the move on the roads with this Legend Suspension. Yeah.
The front end is a major component to an upgrade on your motorcycle, and in my opinion, before you do motor work or any upgrade on your motorcycle, you should look at your suspension. We're going to be talking about Legend Suspension and what they've done to the front end now. For years we've run the AXEO, but they've came up with two different type front ends this year. So they've got one for performance and one for comfort.
Overall, the AXEO has not changed drastically. Now they have made some improvements. They've been listening to their riders and their feedback, and they've just been continuously improving their product.
And we're excited to compare these two. And by comparing, what we're gonna do, we're fixing to head down to Daytona Beach from the Ozarks. We're gonna put the performance on the front end. When we get back, we're gonna head out from the Ozarks over to Arizona, and we're going to put the comfort in. That's going to be a great comparison rides for these two front ends, and we're going to do that right here on this video. This is a comparison video of the AXEO performance and comfort by Legend Suspension.
Yeah, it's going to be nice because then we're going to have about equivalent of a ride with each set before we can actually give that honest review. And that's one thing that we try and do on our website and on our YouTube videos is produce a review video that actually has some time behind the bars, some time in the seat, feeling the product, making sure that it's going to last or it's going to hold up to what, you know, what they say and stuff like that, you know. So this will be nice. It's about a 1,200 mile ride to Daytona, and then of course back. So we'll have roughly 2,500 miles on the one set before we change it out, swap it out for the other set, and head to Arizona Bike Week, which is equivalently the exact same.
Yeah, so a really great comparison rides here, and I'm excited. One thing I do want to touch again, what Jesse and the crew there at Legends, they always make a superior product, always and always will. There's no doubt about that. But what they've done here is let us fine-tune that motorcycle a little bit more than normal, which we're going to get into a little bit more of the details here, and you're going to wonder what we're talking about exactly. And honestly, like I said, we haven't rode these. What we're going to do now is just talk about what they have here on the instructions, and if you would like to look at the Drag Specialty dealer show over in Louisville, Kentucky, when we got to hang out with Chase at Hollywood Hammer with Legends, and we actually talked about these two front ends and had such a great time with Chase, like always. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, you haven't checked out the Ornery One yet, I highly recommend go looking at our library below. Look at all of our social media platforms, and you can see what Steph and I are always up to on our motorcycles, the old Chopper and Road Glide, and the Pan America now. So let's kind of break it down now before we hit the road and before we install these, and kind of wrap our head around what's fixing to happen here. Like always, guys, they always send you a great instruction manual and a guide to what you're fixing to get into.
I know their illustrations are always amazing. They're colored printed. They're not like that black and white instruction manual that you get out and it's all bifolded like 100 pages into like a little small pamphlet, and the writing super small.
Or in
super
Taiwan.
easy to read if you're going to be installing them yourselves. Chase did say, and I want to make this clear, is that if you've installed Legends before, then you've got kind of a gist of how it happens, but these are a little bit different. So to make sure that you just kind of refresh and revisit the instructions and the installation guide, just because there's a little things that's different as far as like setting your preload and installing.
Yeah, a little different, but totally makes sense. Another thing that Chase was also complimenting these on is how they quieten them down. They said they dampened them down where they're quieter. Now, I never knew they were any louder, but
Exactly.
once again, he did go into that, and they're always just moving the dial a little higher, higher, higher on the meter. Now, I did notice one thing on the performance and comforts. If we'll also give you a shot of the instructional manuals here side by side. The preloads are a little different. Now that all depends on how much you're hauling or the weight on your motorcycle, and a little bit in the oil volume chart. Not much, but there is a little different. Main thing on the performance, what we're reading, once again, we're gonna put this to the test when we get out there on the road and put the moves on the road with Legends, is this performance is more precise performance moves. So there are some of us that ride a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more precise, where there's some of us that like to get out there and just cruise with comfort. We're not really expecting anything but a great, comfortable ride, just like always.
Yeah, so like with the performance, it's got like a little bit more of an improvement as far as hitting those big bumps or those potholes, maneuvering it, that aggressive riding, versus the comfort's more going to be like soften the bumps of like your everyday highway riding, little bumps here and there. If that makes sense. A little bit more comfort all day long. This is of course, a little bit more aggressive. Potholes, you may hit some rough bumps, you may be running the interstate for 5 hours and it's like dun, 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 you know.
Any Legend suspension you put onto the front end, it will take away that dive that you have with that front brake. That is the one thing that I noted the very first. I noted that it did not just completely fall on its face when that car pulled over in front of you and you had to do that really quick front end stop.
Overall, the AXEO has not changed drastically. Now they have made some improvements. They've been listening to their riders and their feedback, and they've just been continuously improving their product. So they've not only enhanced the AXEO front suspension, but they have now given us two options where it may, they can tweak it a little bit to fit that aggressive rider versus the comfort rider. And that's what we're looking at.
I also wanted to throw this out there. If you're watching Steph and I, we believe in two-up riding to the utmost, because Steph is with me wherever I go on the back of that bike, and we're totally loaded. Now you wonder what that front end will do for your rear rider, and it's a lot. Because one thing, bump is a bump and handling's a handling, and both of us are feeling that movement on that motorcycle. And over a long day of 5 to 6, even 1,000-mile day, every little movement, anything that makes you tired and fatigues you, it just prolongs your ride if you're not having that day after day. The front end is a major component to an upgrade on your motorcycle, and in my opinion, before you do motor work or any upgrade on your motorcycle, you should look at your suspension. And I do want to throw in there too, we run their rear arc canister back there for fine control. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a later video, or you can go back and watch the big board build series here on the Ornery One's YouTube. We talk about a lot on this channel about just riding in general, and we talk about the products because the products is what's so exciting at making that bike for you and fit you, and it's always fun to do upgrades and mods. But I do want to be very clear on this. On this channel, you will see us put people before product, because, well, without the people, there would be no need of this products. So we're very proud on what we built on this channel, and we're proud of where we're heading and where we've been. So definitely go check out the rest of our videos. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you would do that, we'd really like it. And if you give us a thumbs up, absolutely, we'd love a little of that. And comment away. We love hearing the comments. All right, buddy.
Hank, do you have anything to say?
He says, well, I've got the right color.
That's right.
That's right, that Legends.
Oh man, and that front end by Legends is pretty fucking smooth. If you don't know, we ran the performance from the Ozarks all the way down to Daytona for Daytona Bike Week and back. And then just changed these out for the comfort to run over Arizona Bike Week and back here to the Ozarks. So we'll really have a good feel on our opinion. Coming into that with that traffic, tight corners down that hill, I mean, and the speed limit's like 65, but the traffic's pushing you 70, and then I run 80 to outrun the traffic. I've got to brag a little bit right now, guys, because this Legend Suspension, that's where it shows off. Because you're hanging in there, and if you know what running on rails is, and if you don't, you can really stay to your line. And it gives you that confidence where you can throttle in those corners and ride on out. Really showed its colors right there. Once again, the comfort by Legends. Traffic out here sucks butt too. I honestly, as of right now, which I've done there, here I'm coming up on traffic, not running hard. One thing right there, hit my brakes, hit pretty hard, right? So with your stock suspension, you will feel that nosedive, especially if you're going faster than what I was going there. When you put Legends on, that dissipates big time. We're gonna work our way through the traffic here in Rogers and get ourselves over there around Eureka where we can hit some corners and have some fun. Once again, I want to thank Pig Trail Harley Davidson right there, y'all, for putting in the front ends for me so I can make these videos. If you guys follow me, you know that I'm not a mechanic. I just twist the throttle, although I am learning as we go. You guys are getting to see me grow a little bit in that area. Definitely not comfortable with myself being a mechanic. Road Glide Limited that we're riding here. We have stretch back, so this Road Glide kind of looks like a special from the ass end. It does have the 131. We built that here. And if you're looking right here too, I'm running custom dynamic mirrors. You wonder what custom dynamic mirrors are. Well, in the front of these mirrors, they have lights, running lights, and turning signals on the front. And right here, you can see the lights right here, the LEDs. That has turning signals as well, so you can see right there. Custom dynamics throughout this whole motorcycle. The front end right here, if you're looking at the fairing, that's a colored match by Fairing Exchange. We have hog tuned stereo in, the wild boar upgrade, and we have Dakota digital gauges in our pods here. Absolutely love them to death. Hog tunes down below, colored match lower fairings by the crew at Fairing Exchange. We also have speakers back here in the rear seat, and we have 3 amps underneath that fairing there. We're running a 6.5 smoked Memphis Shade windshield, and we're running KST Ornery Apes for our bars. That's right, y'all. Those were made and named after me. Love those KST boys. If you're wondering about the good old sound of the big bore here, it's just nothing like it. It's Chromeworks, y'all. Now, my first take on the comfort, I'm just going to talk about them alone. This is top shelf, cream of the crop, the best there is out there, in my opinion, and it just proved why. I've ran the front end for years. Like I said, they've improved it this year. And I ran that performance, and I love that performance. Now, running this comfort, my first thought on it is it's more of a zen state. Yeah, I know, I'm getting all a little dramatic probably, and a little bit of a hippie talk to myself here, but it is comfort, and that's what it is. You have the performance that you need and you want and you desire to ride these corners and take it in hard and come out fast and have the fine control that you need in that front end, also giving you that comfort feel. Now, it's a very smooth, gentle flow to this front end, a very calm, quiet comfort, and it will make your, which I always say this a lot, you may not like this, but if your balls are this big, they're going to be this big by the time you get off your first ride, because you get that much more comfort and you get that much more confidence in your ride with this front end. Huge difference between stock front end and Legends front end. Now what they're doing, stay on your side of the road there, Hot Rod. What they're doing now is giving us the option to pick whether if we're more of an aggressive rider or we're more of a laid back, running down the road, putting a lot of miles on, and you just want to ride and be in total comfort. I mean, and that's exactly what this is. Now, I'm going to ride with this front end on out to Arizona for Arizona Bike Week. So we're going to have a couple thousand miles on this front end when I get back. Once again, my first thoughts on this windy day here in the Ozarks, you can see wind's blowing pretty good here. It's warming up, is I absolutely dig them. I think they're going to be the front end of choice. This is going to be the front end of choice for most people out there riding cross country and riding two up and more of a just a laid back, controlled, very comfortable, smooth, zen-like ride. Okay? Now you go to the performance, and what the performance does is it is a more of a precise cut performance feel to it, where you're going to feel a lot more of the road. You're going to feel every move in the road, okay? So let me get this couple thousand miles on this comfort front end, and then I'll be able to break it down more. But this is my first take on what's happening with my thoughts right out of the box, basically. So I'm going to continue down the road here. I'm going to get some more footage so I can post on Instagram and Facebook. If you guys don't know, you're following us here on YouTube, you can go find us there on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Reels, let's see, Shorts, videos, so we got it all. So you're not going to have to look very hard to find the Ornery One. We talk a lot about what we need to do to our bikes when we first get them. What would be my opinion of your first mod upgrade on your motorcycle? And we talk about stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, you know, that 131, now they got the 136, and they just keep getting bigger. But overall, in my opinion, the first thing that you need to change on your bike is your suspension. And if you've got that two-up rider on the back like Steph rides with me all the time, get that rear suspension change out as soon as you can. You're going to see a big difference on her comfort and yours. We also go to the seat then and then handlebars, but right now in this video we're talking about the suspension, and our choice of suspension is Legend Suspension. We grew to love Legends as Steph and I was running cross country. Her and I, we've tried a couple different suspensions. This is what suits our riding style. So if you get that rear put on, your lady or your significant other significant other on the back is going to be a lot more happier, a lot less bitchier. They're going to want to ride more and want to ride longer. So it's very important, guys. Then we go to the front end, which you talk about the front end. Most of us that's riding the bike, that's behind the handlebars, are feeling that front end. But overall, both passenger and rider or driver of the motorcycle is going to feel that front end, because it's going to take out that dive that I talk about a lot. And then when you go in the corners, you're not going to have that push that you have with that stock suspension, or maybe that suspension that's not right for you. You don't have that, you know, where you can't stay on track and stay in a line and run on rails, as we talk about. So getting that stock, or maybe that not right suspension off that bike, getting the right suspension will make you a better rider overall. And like I said, your passenger, you guys will have so much more fun.